What's up, guys? My name is Eric Rasmussen, PDGA number 37945. Little old school action for you there. Let me go ahead and show you guys what I'm working with. We'll start off with the drivers. So here is a Biofusion Defender. This is fairly new. It's my most stable Defender that I have. So if I need something that I know is going to stand up in the wind, not turn over, this is my go-to disc. Not a super bomber, but just consistently. Same with a forehand approach. If I need something to go left to right, absolutely, then this is the one. So that is my first one. This is kind of my go-to Defender right now. It's very consistent. It's beat in a little bit. It's a Fusion. Most of these I think are in the 170. This is a 173, and man, it just goes straight, and I can flip it over, but it'll always come back. It's pretty dependable in the wind. Haven't really had that one flip over on me yet. This is one that I'm trying out right now. I'm not sure if it's going to make it or not. It's an Opto Gladiator. Did a little dye on there. It's just a white one, and I really love the way this one feels in my hand, even more so than the Defender. But I just don't know yet. I'm still trying that one out. This one tends to be a little more flippy on me. And here is the oldest Defender I have, and it's pretty beat in, but this thing bombs. This is one of those that's right in that sweet spot right now where you can let it go on a little bit of a hyzer line, it'll flip up and go. So it's one of my longest discs. Not dependable for headwind shots any longer, but as long as I don't have the headwind, it's a pretty good disc to go for. Comes back hard with a strong fade. And typically I forehand a lot, and I will also forehand that white Fusion Defender almost all my forehand shots. Here is a Purple Giant. It flies very similar to the red Defender I just showed you. It's a little more stable, and so this still has a place in my bag. It's also just really pretty. This is one that might not make it in the bag. I'm still trying it out. It's a Cutlass. I prefer the gold line plastic over the Opto. It's a little less stable, so this one will kind of flip over a little more controllable for me. So that one I'm still messing around with. These are great. These are two of my favorite discs in the fairway driver category. So I really like the Opto Culverin. I haven't tried a gold line yet, but these have been money for me. Really helped in my backhand approach game. And here is a Westside Boatman. And not a huge fan of the Westside stamps, so I tend to wipe them and draw something else on there. This one's got a sailboat on it. This one is great for wooded courses or wooded areas you need a really straight line on. This is one I'm trying to learn right now, the Sheriff. It is technically the longest disc I own, but it's a little inconsistent. It's kind of flippy. And if I start off on a flat line, it's usually going to turn over, so I've got a hyzer. And so this is one I'm trying to learn, but I tend to lean on the Defender still consistently more for the distance. Opto Vision, I don't know this disc at all yet. This is one I've got to learn how to throw a turnover roller backhand. And so that's what I'm trying to work on. I've thrown a couple good ones with it, but it's really not consistent enough to use in a game yet. All right, moving on to my favorite disc. It's the Felon. I've got 4 of these in my bag. From most stable to least, I've got 2 backups. I'll probably order some more. This disc is incredible. Once you break them in, they can do almost anything you want. So I've got a Fluid Felon, one that I wiped off and stamped that one. This one is very stable. It also doesn't skip much on the approach, so it's a great disc. I flick these a lot, but they're just as good to backhand. Man, awesome disc. Next one, this is almost new. It's a Biofusion Felon. I put this in my bag for a tournament we had recently just because I wanted one that was more stable but still had skip on it, and it did exactly that. This is one you can put on a tight line. It's going to flare out big, or same with a backhand. This pink one is more beat in, and it's got the two-tone because I just put some acetone on the outside and dabbed it off so it looks like it's 2 different colors. If you guys want to try that trick, it's pretty cool. But this one is very straight with a good fade at the end. And so this is really consistent. I get a lot of use out of this one right now in my bag for both forehand and backhand. And this is my favorite, my go-to, especially for shorter courses. So much control with this disc. It's very straight with a nice fade at the end. This Fusion, for whatever reason, just beat in real quick, and I love it. And I use this almost every approach shot I throw. I'll use this disc almost every hole when I'm playing disc golf. It's a great disc. My most used disc right now. The next one is a Saint Pro. This is one I'm still toying around with. I don't use it that often anymore. There's still a couple holes I'll use it on, but that one might make its way out of my bag. The Saint probably will stay in just because it's a little flippier, and so I can throw this really soft and get a pretty straight flight out of it without trying too hard. So for some backhand courses, it almost acts like a mid-range, but just pretty long. So that one's one I'll probably keep in there. I also aced with it the first time I used it, so it's going to be hard to get rid of that one. And then you notice I've only got 3 mid-ranges. I really don't throw many mid-ranges. This is a Verdict, and It's a great mid-range. It's more stable than an EMAC Truth. This is an older Truth. It's a Biofusion. It's actually more stable than the EMAC versions. I don't know why. I don't know how that works, but great disc. It's a really solid for just a nice soft approach or a good long backhand mid-range disc. And then here's an EMAC. This is one I could probably only throw about 70 or 80%. It's not that beat in. It's just these aren't as stable as I think I would like them to be. My last disc, Caltrip. And this is just for approaches. I love this thing. Also, if it's really windy, I can putt with it, and it's very consistent. And then to putters, I have a number of these. These are the two I'm bagging right now. Classic hard Judges. I'm always open to trying these things out, but this is one of those that I'll probably stick with. The Judge has just been very good. And I prefer the hard plastic. When I grip the putter, I don't want my thumb to sink into it. I like the consistency of release every single time.